Remove the weight of negativity from your mind, and you become a force nothing can hold back. The real battle isn't out there, it's inside. And the enemy? It wears no armor, bears no name. It doesn't scream or strike. It whispers. Its name is negativity. We weren't born with it. It entered quietly, through wounds never healed, expectations left unmet, and cruel words we never earned. But if we never face it, never cleanse it, it becomes our unseen master. You want to become unstoppable? Then understand this: no man can conquer the world until he first conquers the chaos within. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's where the real purge begins. First, stop idolizing your pain. Yes, pain is real. But suffering? That's the narrative we write around pain. It's the crown of thorns we place on our own heads. Every time we replay the betrayal, cradle the insult, and whisper, "I wasn't enough." That isn't healing. That's poisoning. We don't remember the wound, we reopen it. We must stop glorifying our hurt. Stop mistaking it for identity. A scar is not shame, it's survival. Let it remind you. Let it mark the lesson. But never let it define who you are. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke." Change your perception, and you change everything. Second, silence the inner critic through discipline. You know its voice. It says you're weak, late, broken, and worst of all, it sounds exactly like you. But it is not you. It's a squatter in your mind, feeding on your doubt. You don't silence it by yelling louder. You silence it with action, with structure, with will. Every early morning you rise, every habit you master, every temptation you resist, you're not just shaping a better life. You're strangling the voice that said you never could. Seneca warned us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So we train our imagination, make it an ally, not an executioner. We mold it daily, relentlessly, like warriors do with swords. Third, set fire to your need for external validation. Here's the truth few admit: most of your negativity doesn't come from actual failure. It comes from measuring yourself through someone else's eyes. We beg for approval, applause, likes. And every time we do, we rent out our soul. You want to be unstoppable? Then you must belong to no one but yourself. Understand this: the man who walks his own path will always be judged by those who fear leaving the herd. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. You weren't made for them. Musonius Rufus said, "The man who practices philosophy as a cure for his own soul becomes strong enough to help others." Heal inward. Radiate outward. Fourth, refuse to be ruled by emotion. Anger, envy, resentment. These aren't signs of strength. They're signs of captivity. Captive to reaction, to noise, to the world's chaos. Every time we lash out, we prove we are still in chains. The master of self doesn't react, he responds. There's a pause between what happens and how we act. That pause is power. That silence is strength. The Stoics taught us to welcome pain, to endure insult, and to ignore empty praise, because none of those define us. What defines us is reason, discipline, will. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Negativity is not your curse, it is your test. And so, when the noise settles and silence returns, ask yourself, what kind of man walks through fire and doesn't scream? What kind of soul refuses to break, even when shattered by life? The answer isn't mythical. It is real. It's the man who has forged his mind into steel, through pain, through patience, through precision. So if something in these words echoed something buried within you, something long silenced, don't ignore it. Don't betray it again. Walk away from weakness. Step out of the noise. Become the kind of person who doesn't need to speak to command respect, and doesn't need validation to know their worth. Because in the end, Those who rule themselves, rule everything. Thanks for watching. Like the button and subscribe my YouTube channel Stoic Ember.